Hey there, Silver-Tongued Devil here, and as you can see, we're on Hellsweepers, and Chakrams are a keen weapon to want to get involved as part of my intro. This is the main reason why we're here, in that Hellsweeper has had a little update. There are some new features. There is one new weapon. As you can see, we have the Chakram. This is a homing throwing weapon, which will go off there, do its killing, and return to sender. This can be infused. It can be fought with in hand-to-hand combat. There are various abilities that will infuse it with elements, so this can be infused just like anything else. We've also got the ability to power these up and then detach parts of them and then throw even more. So when you are at the early stages of the game and you haven't got the ability to conjure too many chakrams, we can kind of get lots of discs out there. Where do these fit in with me? Quite well, actually, because you can get them out there doing their thing, and as you'll see, they'll put a bit of an orbit round you as well, and then do your magic. Good stuff. So what we'll do quickly, just shut these guys up. You can also summon the parts back sometimes if they haven't gone and got lost. No, stop it! Come back! Okay, they've got lost. Cool. You can summon the parts back by holding trigger with them as well. So we won't spend too long on the patch notes, but we have a new class that is dedicated to the Stone Fist, which then gives you the ability to have... this is coupled with the fact that now the Stone Fist ability you used to be able to do straight off the bat anyway, with a combination of levitating a rock and then attaching it, but now, like with Blood Magic and Devil's Trigger, Stone Fist you can actually has as a summonable. So just like our lightning or our fire or our gun or our now chakram or our bullets, you can just summon. There are some new traits for some of the weapons I don't really use, if I'm honest with you, although the new levitation one was okay. The blast one is particularly good. Blast, for those who embrace the punch girl ways and means of things, Cotton Candy now allows us to do our blast wave, but it also, if you hold trigger down, creates a force shield. So for those of you who are magic and mana users, you now have the ability to push your enemies away and protect yourself also. So, stop, quiet everybody, stop, okay. We have some new blessings as well. One of them is particularly good. It's just an experience increase without any downsides. So this one I like. Another one that I thought was quite good. Players can now toggle between the display name or the username. I will show you how to do it because it wasn't apparent to me. But this little button here, if you press, I can dox myself. And if you press again, you can change it to your name. Mine defaults to this, to my actual name on a lot of games, but now you can press a button and you can make sure that your gamer tag is up. So it took me a long time longer than it should have, longer than I care to admit, to find where that was. There is an unstuck button now. That's nice. There's been a couple of times where I've got stuck when I'm in the infinite corridors or in the vault or whatever they're calling it these days. There is one other change that I really like. I don't know how it's going to impact if you don't have it equipped, because it is something that you can equip. But doggos can now be summoned by all by simply moving your hand to your mouth and pressing trigger. There we go. So that's one more thing running around doing damage whilst we're doing the old blood magic, which I haven't got equipped for some reason, some bizarre reason. There we go. So now we can have blood hosts and dogs and chakram dreams. Lovely. What else quickly? Couple of the other, I think it was I saw Where did I see it? Oh, Stone Fist can now be infused afterwards. Normally you had to cast the magic, infuse it into yourself, then summon the Stone Fist. Now that it can be done straight away. Again, all of these little things just make Hulk Smash style more viable. Oh, and the biggest one. I can hold now. I can hold one knee up and then kick, and that creates a more powerful kick. I can do that with one leg. Or I can do it with the other leg. Or I can do it with both legs. And still move, I might add. I don't quite know how that works, but we're a fairly magical and potent being. So, yeah. Those are things. So, what I have prepared for you this evening, and I say prepared in the loosest sense of the word because I was just playing around with it. I've gone through Act 1. I'm playing on the top level of difficulty. We are at a reasonable level of power. For those of you who have played the game and know how I play it, gilded boots for the win, but you have to be very careful when you're starting a new act because the game takes a lot of your currency off of you and converts it into metagame progression and currency. So basically what I'm saying is if we die now, well, it gives some of those in the chat a job, doesn't it? This is hard, so I'll probably game this to begin with, and then we'll get the Chakrams involved. So, as I have spoke about before, we're going to make things nice and easy for ourselves. We're not going to move. We're going to get rid of all these totems, just so... We are range? No. Just so... they don't turn into the red totems. It's the blue totems that can become red totems. Those are the ones that are damaging you. If you are in an arena and you're dealing with the enemies and you are still getting smashed, 9 times out of 10 there's a red totem somewhere and you're either standing next to it and it's killing you or it's shooting additional crap at you. Right, so let's prep the area. Like that one there. Now, as I said, we do need to be very careful because we are... Ow, more careful than that. Oof. Let's get some killing done. Oh, we just gotta survive. We should be okay. I know what the problem is here. So, Chakrams, go burr. And if we hit the Chakrams upon return, they'll then basically go out and do their job a second time, which is always good. And as you can see, that some of these aren't particularly well aimed. Ooh, I've got an upgrade on mine that I might want to take off at some point then. You'll see that they stay out there and spin. Now that basically makes the Chakram a... Hello, Chris. That makes the Chakram a shorter ranged weapon all of a sudden, other than the longer range depth that I'm able to deal with it normally. But it then means at the shorter ranges, it goes in and does multiple hits. But it makes them incredibly short range, but that's what we want to see. Getting chopped in half with Chakrams. Oh yeah, Doggo. Oh, do I need to have Doggo equipped to get that to work? Ah, I thought it was going to be Doggo times for all and it was a free quit. Ah, well, at least I can see now. I mean, it does add the ability to taunt my enemies, Sam Fisher style. But we are anything but Sam Fisher in this game, let me tell you. So it's looking like I may have to change how my chakrams, you can see mine orbit, so they go out and then they stay, spin, kill and return. So what I've in essence done is made the chakram a short-ranged weapon as opposed to going out there and bouncing across multiple enemies. It now goes out there, still homes, but then it stays. Hey, 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 hey! Getting a bit dangerous over there, you know? We also, for the purposes of summoning, haven't got an awful lot of magic in this build at the moment. I never really do invest in magic. I leave that to Bon. She does the magic. I do the gunplay. Don't you shoot that crap at me. Hi. Always chaotic hell with my streams, I'll tell you. So, and throw all the magic, throwing shiz and a little bit of guns. But that's, it's one of the things that I will do, because I'm sure, you know, all of you lot, especially the lads, will want to hear me panting down the microphone, so I'll do a run at some point, maybe even this stream. It's getting a bit warm for this maybe, but if we can get it unlocked tonight, I'll do a stream where we main the fists. See just how capable Hulk Smash is now that they've made it. Oh no, this is, so because we've got it on Hellsweeper difficulty, it's moved from Hellsweeper to Wave. So for some reason the multiplayer's got rid of that, because I think that's part of the problem that they were having, the syncing issues. They were having problems in the multiplayer with the one quest within a level leading on to another desyncing. So I think they've done away with it with the multiplayer, but it's still very much in the single player. Do a barrel roll. Don't go down there, bud. And as you'll see, because I'm playing, or you might not see actually, because I am playing in top level big boy difficulty, the game doesn't just increase the nastiness of anything, everything and anything in HP. Hello Doom. Doesn't just increase the difficulty of everything as far as HP and attack amount, it also then increases the amount of mana that you need to cast things. And at these higher levels, you'll see that my flip goes a little faster than usual. It isn't quite as slow motion, so you don't get quite as much hang time and air time. But you get enough. You get enough. Whoop. So, let's... Now, one of the things I haven't done a lot of is how the various infusions... I was going to wait until... No! I was going to wait until Come on. Spark. Spark. I'm sure I've got... Yeah, I have got it. Oh, let's just... because we need to get some more upgrades. Let's get this over with. I've got the blood hosts. Pretty powerful, as you do. So yeah, the Chakram was the... So there's an unlock. They've changed the way that the game works now. Instead of using echoes to unlock weaponry... There we go. God, that was a bit long, wasn't it? Instead of... This is why we probably won't have time for multiplayer if I'm going to finish this run. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. I enjoy doing the multiplayer with you lot, so we'll most likely do a dedicated stream to that so we can get some sessions in. Just in case anyone's played this game and ever wondering what these are blood crystals. These are how you make blood magic, but I've got the ability, thanks to something that you can equip, to just cast blood magic as per norm. So there's some things that I want to change about the Chakrams so we can show them off. That's what, 3 million in style, way over what you need. You do not need that much more. Normally I would take this. Why am I not taking this? Because that, ladies and gentlemen, can go suck a dick. That is the floor is lava, and I don't want it. I don't want any of that, so we'll pick something else. We don't need to increase our max health. I don't want floor is lava. That one's rough as well. Cool. Let's go for a mystery next objective then, shall we? I'm now pushing XP as gold on everything because I just need a few more echoes to sort everything out. Everything of mine is powerful enough. The other thing that I will say, as I've spoken about... I don't need any of those, so let's do the one that doesn't increase mana. The thing that I've spoken about as well, the more powerful that you become on this game, the more damaging you do to enemies, the quicker you kill them and the less hits is required, which, for how the game works in its style system, is actually counterproductive. This is why we avoid things like damage boosts in runs, even at this level, because more hits means more style means more score at the end, and that is how you get bonus echoes, bonus cash, and bonus meta progression as well. The other thing to note, it's a very powerful totem. The other thing to note as well is that the system has also changed now. So spending money you are not quite as severely punished for anymore. However, the way that we have my character set up, the more gold I have, the more shield I have, which is this yellow bar on the outside. And I can tell you now, even in the hardest level of difficulty, where everything's got hundreds of percentages of more damage, if you can get a good 200 or 300 shields come back at a phenomenal rate. Oh, I can show off. So Blast Wave now has, I think it's called Cotton Candy, and you now have the ability to do this. So not only do you do the blast, but you create an energy barrier in front of you, and I believe that energy barrier deflects. Mine drops away very quick because my build is not magically inclined. However, I do know that Punch Girl Blasting is a favourite of Von's, and her build is magically inclined. So that is hopefully going to become one of her favorites, because just the ability to just do this and put barriers out in front of you that then deflect things is very cool. They stay where you cast them as well. That's good. Let's get rid of these totems before we start the level proper. Don't need to worry too much about the yellow ones, but in the spirit of completionism, because the yellow ones never turn into nasty. We'll also... I have a J key. Lovely. J key's the equivalent of 3 golds, as we know. Yeah, it's this. Cotton Candy Pop. After using Concussive Blast, hold the trigger to conjure a barrier with 8 durability. I wonder if there is a way, actually, to increase the duration of that. And I wonder if it works for paranoia as well. I'll test that now. I wonder if it works for base note. Not base note, that's not the ability that I thought it was. We will 5-figure discount that. So, as I said, my class doesn't actually have a lot in the ways of mana. I don't need it, as long as I can summon a couple of guns, and I can keep on summoning my magic. Even though my magic bottoms out, it comes back at such a rate. Basically, I don't have a lot of magic, but my magic regeneration is fast enough for me to be able to do everything that I need to do, which is why you'll constantly hear that that high ping noise. That's me. That's the game letting me know that I'm running out of mana. Hello, DG. How we doing? So then, let's have a look at what we have here. So this one is one that if we get that fucking bubbles one, I'm not going to be happy. So whatever trait that we get now will follow us throughout the rest of the game. Normally, at this level, I should pay so that I can avoid the bad ones. But it's fine. That streamer luck is a thing, and it's going to be a good one. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. So now, there is constant meteorites going to be falling from the sky in every fucking level. That's great. The one thing that I will say is they're random, so they're not always gonna go for me. It could have been worse. It could have been that stupid bubbles one. Yeah, I've inadvertently turned the Chakrams into a very short-ranged but decent killing thing, which I will change back in the shop. So for those of you who have played Sairento, drink if you play in that game. Ow. The glaives were the equivalent of the Chakrams in that game. The glaives were very good in that game. They're equally good in this. I was experimenting, so I haven't got them at Big Boy Whack and doing their proper job. Normally, I would launch one and it would bounce all the way through all enemies, doing a lot of damage. Now they go out to a short range, spin for a while, and then come back to me, which isn't quite as good. It isn't quite as good as what you can have them. See, they only go out maybe 20 meters. Well, Flores Lava is definitely the worst. I'm more thinking along the lines of the viewing experience, if I'm honest, Vom. Because if my screen is constantly green because of those stupid bubbles, well, I mean, I don't like that, and I'm pretty sure no one else will like it either. Yeah, they just sliced his mate open with friends like these. For anybody wondering why I am raising my hands above my head when I'm using guns, it's to use the Liberty skill, which is basically a free powered-up reload. We can do the out to the side or into the side, and you can actually have it so that they spin and go up and down. But sometimes I do find that a little bit inconsistent, and what better way to reload than just putting them to my shoulders and getting a power-up. And that power-up can have other unintended side effects as well, which I should be able to show off, because if we use the powered-up ammunition and infuse our weapon, we then create nasty every time as we fire. So those are the blood ghosts. Hello, Doc. No job for you here tonight, sir. There's Hellsweeper. I don't die on Hellsweeper. Why are these open? Hey. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there isn't anything particularly interesting about my build. I've just got a decent level up on the acrobat epithet, which does everything that I need to do. It reduces the cost of movement, which movement is key in this game. The thing is, the one thing that, again, is another thing that I always want to celebrate about the likes of Hellsweeper. There is not just one way to play this game. There are so many useful items that you can play the game how you want to, and you'll be able to do well and progress. This pistol is the first thing that you are given. With the right upgrades in the right hands and with the right build, or with the right thing, and there's better ones for what I'm using it for, you can make just the starting basic revolver an absolute fucking beast. No, don't know what you're talking about. Right, we'll go for blood magic. Meteorite, same enemy, and I think that's armored enemies. So this is something that you do have to pay a lot more attention to in this higher level of difficulty, is that you remember I was saying that we've got a stupid amount of shields because of the amount of cash that I have. Well, that'll only go so far if I start ending up with super enemies and various environmental effects. They can chew through that shield pretty quickly. This is where the movement comes in. Increase status effect duration by 20%. Yeah, we like that, because then that means the infusion will stay on my guns 20% longer. What we want is dipping source, so that when we summon our chakrams and our pistols, it's a blessing. Dipping source is a very cool blessing. It's a great one for showing the game off, because instead of a gun being summoned in its natural state, it'll be summoned with a random element on it, either fire, lightning, ice, or blood. And then that just saves having to put it on yourself. So yes. So guns will be eating your mana depending on how you build the guns. So this is something that a lot of people fall into the trap of when they're playing the game. If you build your guns at the start in such a way that they have all the things that you want and are all powerful, but you don't put any discount on them, then they will eat your fucking mana alive. So you've got two ways that you can play it. Build the guns how you want to, and then as you progress through the levels, make sure you go for the 5-finger discount. Any of the ones that add increased mana discount to the conjuration of your weapons. And I think that also covers the reloads as well, because reloads, as you can see, cost mana. This is the other reason why I use Libertarian, because you'll see that my reloads, this is now empty. My reloads cost me nothing, and they power the weapon up. But yeah, it's again, I've seen a few people have been like, I can't use my weapons now. I can't use my builds. There is a possibility that they may have changed. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for the first shot before I start really using these. The other way to do it is change off of Gunslinger and go for the Magician build, because you get a lot more mana a lot quicker in that build. But it's one of the first skills that I always go for is mana discount. So a lot of the weaponry that I use is hugely discounted so that I don't have that problem, and then I build them up as I go. But as I said, it's part of the reason. Well, does it work? No. It doesn't work with that one. Does it work with this one though? No, it doesn't work with that one. So it's only the front one that we get the barrier on. And as you can see, my barrier doesn't last very long, because mana's not my strong point. I'm a flipping gun-wielding type. I mean, other than its predecessor or its the spiritual burst of this game. Yeah, always. Oh. God, Doc counts those now, doesn't he? If I'm not dying very much, he'll count when I fall off. can still see that my Chakrams, even though I've kind of built them a little wrong, again, playing with features, we can adjust that when we get to the shop. Because I built them a little wrong, they're not doing as good a job as they could, but they're still out and about. And this is one of the things that I like about the Chakrams, is that, in essence, we've already talked about how much I love evil hosts, because I like necromancer builds, and, you know, I know they're not undead. Oh, maybe they are. Maybe these maybe these evil hosts were once good hosts, and they were maybe a light black, and they didn't have fucking skulls on the end of them. But yeah, I talk necromancer build in that it's about summons, and I do love my evil hosts, and we've got them up to quite the level. But I also like my blood ghosts as well. They're an equal fucking menace. Ow. And I think we've had the demonstration on the channel before. A few arm gestures, and I don't need to do an awful lot. But this is kind of the beauty of where these Chakrams can potentially come in on my build, is that I can let the evil host go out and do its thing. Oh, they're just shy. I wonder if I bounce them back, if they'll work. Stop it. No. Yeah, it needs to be about there. So it changes the Chakram into a close weapon, which then makes it good if you're wanting to do the old close combat with Chakram, which you quite easily could. But yeah, look at that. They stop just shy. Same problem as most melee weapons I find in VR, but if we do it nice and close, they'll sit there and just do multiple hits, which if I had all of the text coming up as you kill enemies, which I purposely turn off, because I think it looks pretty good without all the numbers popping off. But that will make Chakrams, in this short range configuration, will make them particularly good, because that'll probably be about 20 hits. And as we know, it's the style that gives you all that extra stuff. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to change that so I can show them off a little bit better. How many left? 7? Fine, let's end it then. Hi. Right. And what I can do is I can show you as well, and this will be a good one for Doom actually. If you start doing your build and you start finding that you are running shy of mana, or, you know, you've built it in a way that isn't showing off a cool new weapon, very cool. I mean, it's still good, look at that, it spins, and then what you can do is with another weapon, when it returns to you, instead of catching it, you can bounce it back. Do you actually have to hit it, or can you just put something in front of it? You can just put something in front of it. Will it let me? No, it doesn't like swiping. You just put a weapon in front of it and that'll bounce it back out again, and it'll go out there and do its job again. Yes. We might actually be able to change how I've changed it. I mean, we don't need any of these. I'll grab the levitation one. Levitate additional. Levitate additional. And large objects will not explode. This is new, time for pain. This is one. But see here, this is for Doom. Every time we're taking these additional upgrades, it is increasing our mana cost, which then means that if you don't take 5-finger discounts and then convert those 5-finger discounts into Mana Thief, if your class hasn't got an exceptionally large mana pool, or you've got things that increase your mana, you'll find that you'll, like, summon one thing to one hand and you won't have the mana to instantly summon the other. So, like, by putting that on there, yeah, we should not be losing, like, 1/5 of our bar just to summon a fucking rock out of the air. But yeah. Things and stuff. All things and stuff. Because the reason why I'm kind of equipped and knowledgeable on that question is it's been asked in the Discord before. I've run into a similar thing before and thought, like, hang on a second, why can't I cast anything? And it's usually about your build. Have we already got... We've already got the explosion one, so I don't need packed lunch. We go paid violence. We go experience is gold. Like, even XP is gold increases the mana cost of things. You do want to be taking experience is gold because you'll get more echoes for at the checkout, I think it is, after completing an act. Yeah, so when you finish an act, so you do want to be going for these, but remember that each time you take them, it's increasing the mana cost. So for every one of these you take, you kind of need to be taking 1 or 2 of those as well. And if you can convert them to Mana Thief, which you get the option to do when you've taken 3 5-finger discounts. I'll show you because I've got it built somewhere into this build, probably. We need sparks. We need longer infusions. We'll go for longer infusions again because that builds up to something. And we'll go XP is gold. XP is gold. Like, those 2 XP as golds have increased the amount of mana that my spells will cost by 60. So if I then put 5-finger discount on, it'll add additional. You could, well, you can't include Mana Thief because Mana Thief is a legendary. But if you have a weapon system that you're relying on and conjure multiple times, it is not a bad idea to start with 3 5-finger discounts so that the first upgrade that you get, you can change those 3 discounts into a Mana Thief. But I don't do that. I build my build the way that I... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2.3 million. We do not need that much. Right, what are the... Yes, this is acceptable. Item refund. Destroyed weapons will explode, so you can have it so that when your chakrams have used all their durability, they'll just blow up, which is awesome. We'll put that on later. Go with phantom limb. So it's these ones here as well, which also, if you look at this one, as you are putting things onto your build, and this like is with guns and stuff as well, that is increasing the base mana cost of them also. Let's go with, we don't want to be increasing the damage. No. So I don't want any of these, so we'll go with the least mana cost one. And we need to visit a shop so I can change them. I don't think I can change them normally. We'll have a look. Hang on, we'll have a look a second. 2 seconds. I'll show you the one that I've put on. It is that one. Orbital period. When thrown, the chakram will spin in place after thrown. That is, for how I want to show it off, is not a good upgrade. So we'll get rid. I don't think. Can I get rid of them? Because I did. No, I can't remove these. But when you go to the shop, any traits that you've taken that you didn't necessarily want, because I don't know, they didn't give you things that you wanted to keep, you can actually refund and get money back and remove them from your build. And I'll show you all how to do that. Just a moment. A lot of the time, all of the upgrades in this game are just exactly that. They're all just straight upgrades, and so you don't need to worry. Where's my drink? You don't need to worry about refunding particular ones. Although, having said that, there are 1 or 2. You just avoid them like the plague. But there are 1 or 2 items, upgrades for some weaponry, that fundamentally change how they work. Sometimes you might want to go for them. They're like, for instance, bullets and libertarian fundamentally change how I use my pistols, but there is a pistol upgrade that means that ammunition starts at maximum when you spawn them, but you can't reload them. You take that and all of a sudden you have to play differently, where you're constantly conjuring new guns, and as you can probably appreciate, you need to have a decent mana build to do that, and I do not have a decent mana build. My build's a little bit more special, in a kind of little bit more special way. No, get away from me. Well, these are definitely taking some damage, because they are pretty powerful bullets that we're firing out. Right, let's just let's take these totems out. They all got shields up. Look at this, the cheeks. Let's avoid those lasers, thanks very much. Are you going to use lasers, are you? Have some blood magic. So we can see that the next event that's going to trigger after we've destroyed all of these totems is going to be the sacrifice. So, and I don't even need to check my hand to do that. So in that circumstance, because we've got a lot of killing to do, we can kill all of these. Normally, I would harvest a lot of the enemies from these totems to make sure we've got more than enough in the ways of kills and score. The other thing to note as well, to unlock the Chakrams, you were saying earlier that they have changed it now. Is that activated yet? No, it hasn't. They have changed it now so that you actually have challenges to fulfill to unlock certain weapons. So for instance, to unlock the epithet for the Stone Fist, you have to get 150 kills. With these, probably should. I don't think we're going to have enough power. No, they're not very powerful. Because this build not made for stone fisting. This build is not a Hulk smash build. I'm telling you that now. This is a flippy, whippy, bloody, gunplay kind of build. Right, there we go. And now we'll sit here. And let old evil hosts do our work for us. You'll note as well, in combination with the blood hosts, when they kill enemies, it counts as a dismemberment, which is making us money. When those enemies die, they now explode, which is also counting as dismemberment, which is why we get money. So I don't have to smush the corpses of enemies into walls. You don't need exploding corpses on a good blood magic and a blood magic unholy combo, because those two things do very much complement each other. But just makes my job easier. I also find as well that I get slightly better performance on the game when it's religiously destroying, exploding the bodies of the fallen, because instead of them sticking around and taking up processing time, it gets rid of them nice and quick sharp for me. And let's face it, when you're doing this constantly, there's enough fucking processing with all the evil hosts, blood ghosts, and, well, hopefully Chakrams in a minute. Ooh, no. Who uses this? Sliver of hope. I mean, to be fair, when you're unlocking things, there probably is a point. But should we... Yeah, let's try. Let's try and get some kills with this. We'll bring its power up. Morning Muscle is a great one. Adds shields to every punch, which then means that you are protecting yourself as you're putting out damage. Very good one. Punching enemies will pull them in. See, combo increase of damage. Increase, yeah. So this is one of those special times where we do want to be increasing our damage because we want to be killing enemies, not harvesting them. Combo level up. If we get combo level up to top as well, that one won't come up anymore. It can only be upgraded 3 times. So that one's not a bad one to get out of the way. I'll try and do some punching. 150 punchy kills, and it's starting to get warm in the UK as well, so yeah, maybe I'll do that later on. In fact, on that note, it is getting actually pretty warm. It's not like I'm working hard. So have many of you actually had a chance to have a look at the update yet? It's a good one. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to show the Chakrams off as well as I'd like to yet, but we're getting there. We are getting there. And when I say warm in the UK as well, I mean maybe a degree. We celebrate these things in my country. Thank you, Vaughn. 1 hour sweeping hell. 1 hour sweeping hell, and we've barely looked at the buggers. Barely looked at them. I do like that you can do the magician trick, though. That's quite cool. Can't... Oh! Ooh. There you go. We can do that, you know. That magician trick of... Huh? Huh? Ooh. There you go. That's what I was going for originally. Right. Blood. This we need. Red Valentine. Red Valentine me, yes please. Forbidden Knowledge me, yes please. So, Forbidden Knowledge... for those of you who are wondering, is if you get 2 of the bloody ghosts, you then get the option to transfer those bloody ghosts into Forbidden Knowledge. And what Forbidden Knowledge does is when we fire off an evil host in any of its variations, it will stay out on the level for longer. What we killing? Enemies? Okay, cool. What I'm going to try and do is get through this fast so that we can change the properties of the Chakram and actually start using them a little bit more. And by having evil hosts stick around for longer, it just basically means that I can have a lot more nonsense going on screen. And again, it's something that always impresses me about this game. There's already 6 to 8 enemies on screen at a time, and I've got blood hosts out, plus all the effects of the game, all the lighting effects, all the magic effects, the projectiles, and the various things that different enemies are throwing. And you do get frame rate drop and stutters in this, but it's to be expected, but they're not game breaking. They're not like the frame rate will happen, and then it's almost like more of a warning to just roll it back a little bit, just slow it down a tad, as opposed to, oh my god, I'm fucking breaking, and then the game crashing. I've never, I can say this with hand on heart, never, and I've tried. Oh, I've tried. Might be able to do it while streaming. Never been able to crash Hellsweeper. Not through, like, you know, trying to overload it with projectiles. And it'll let you. It'll let you. Might get some... So we got those evil hosts going. Oh, is that because it's changed level? Try and get some of those going now as well. Let's get some blood ghosts and some evil hosts. So now I can see my frame rate dipping just a little bit. But it's not massive. This game runs buttery smooth. Not supposed to be... Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't... Yeah, Quest 2 I could see why. I mean, me and Von have had some crashes, and Kim as well, when we've been playing the multiplayer, but the multiplayer's a different beast, you know. single player wise, but again, a lot of the problems that we've had from the multiplayer have been more like disconnections than like actual hard crashes. But that's multiplayer games the world over, isn't it? Nope. You can't play anymore. Fuck off. Get out. Fuck off. Get out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So again, currently as well, you only need to get your style to 80,000. You don't need. Fuck off. No. This is part of the reason why I don't play the top level of difficulty. I can't take what I want or need to make my build uber powerful. You kind of end up taking the things so that the level isn't as annoying as it could be. So let us increase the size of aura. Yeah, well, as I said, Doc, we'll definitely make a point of getting you in a team when we do another multiplayer stream. But I've probably, you know, we're already a fucking hour in, and I didn't actually do that much faffing at the start. So, and yeah, we're barely, where are we? Halfway through Act 2. So we've got another act to go. I'll try and get this completed tonight, but it's probably not going to mean multiplayer. But I'd like to get some more game keys out there to all of you lot, if I'm honest, so that we've got even more of a player base. Yeah, I'll take it. Take it anyway. So yeah, this is the one. Mana Thief converts 3 of your discounted ones, which add up to about what's the, I think it adds up to about 19%, and converts it to 25%. The difference with those is that if you get 3 of them, if you get 3 of the Mana Thieves, you'll then, I think because they stack, previously you stack to a 90% reduction, and then it doesn't matter what build you have. A 90% reduction on whatever it is that you're doing just means it's silly levels at that point. Not the buff, we want secret powder. Manually reloading the gun restores its durability, because that can become a problem as well. Enemies breaking your guns at these higher levels. But look how much it increases my mana cost each time. Thankfully, the mana cost is when you do that. And oh no, when you do. Oh no, it's not. I wonder what the mana cost is associated there with. Hello, Kim. Howdy indeed. Hey, look, Kim. Chakrams. Mine are a bit useless at the moment. They just go out there and spin. But we'll get them. But I can do the ring trick, like the magicians of old. It's a kind of magic. Oh. Now then, where are we going? But yeah, maybe what we're on today, we're on Wednesday today. I may or may not be streaming on Saturday. Maybe we'll go for a Hellsweeper playing with you lovely lot. Give me a chance to get some bits and pieces done on this actually as well. Maybe we'll see about doing that next Saturday, because it's usually the Saturdays that we do it on. I don't want that. We don't need this, but plus 40% is really good, and we don't need this. But I do want to, so if we can start pushing this, we'll actually be able to make Blast quite useful. Increase knockback by 30% and size. So this is a combination of ones that we've taken that allow this legendary one to be taken. That's actually a really good one, so we'll forge that. And yeah, let's decrease and increase the mana cost. Yay! Can we get this powerful enough so I can be one-shotting? Increase damage by 50%, maybe. That one. I have got gentle fists on, which mean open hand strikes and knock enemies back. Again, another way to play. You could play this game unarmed if you wanted to. It probably wouldn't be a great idea, but you could. That's the one that we want to get up to top level so it doesn't come up anymore. Increased by 74%. Okay, let's see if we can become One Punch Girl during the course of this stream. Halfway through, what are we at? 30 enemies left. I mean, you know, obviously we soften them up a little bit. I care little for your blocks. Oh, they're not very durable. They're not very durable. They break quite quickly. Okay, so you will be able to make a viable Hulk smash build, especially with the fact that there is now an epithet dedicated to it, which is very cool. Oh, also, Kim, you can whistle your dog into action now, but it looks like you do need to have the dog equipped for that to work. But that's very cool. The gesture-based system in this game is one of the finest that we have. If I was using more things other than blood magic and guns just to make things quick, you would see that I can go through my entire repertoire of spells and weaponry, and I can pick what I want dependent on what I want to do. And again, as I say, it's one of the finest features of this game is how well the gesture system works. I know it was a little bit spotty to begin with on the Quest, in that I felt that I couldn't on the Quest 2, with the Quest 2 tracking, but you know, iterations on this game has definitely become one of those ones where, with a surprisingly small amount of practice and just, you know, my memory's not great, but I know that up, left, right and down and grabbing at my hips and grabbing at my shoulders do things, which then means I've in essence got 6, because that's counting, 6 weapons at the like touch of my fingertip. I'm not pressing buttons to do it either, and it feels very cool. Ow. Haven't really got the mana for lightning either, unfortunately. Although lightning is a great magic, the problem is it forces you to stand still, unless you're me, and you can do Palpatine lightning upside down. Get off the floor. Get off. Part of the reason why that blitzed out of my head was in the floor, which I think is incredibly cool, because you can normally handspring back up from that, is because I'm hacking how you use lightning. One of the best traits about lightning, lots and lots and lots of hits. The worst trait about lightning is you have to stand still normally to use it. The like ultimate of lightning. If you tap up on the right stick just as you land whilst casting your lightning, you are then able to move around freely whilst electrocuting everything. Very good. Talking of lightning, let's get some of those involved. Oh, we need to be over here now. Beautiful. I mean, yeah, my sparks are actually... I've been leveling up my sparks. Something that I don't do a lot of on this game is just taking the standard magic and hurling at the enemies. But so, as I said, with the conjuration system, I can conjure a bullet, a gun. Well, it's kind of a bullet. It's got them in it. I can conjure my revolver by swiping out to the right and grip. Inside swipe is fire, up swipe is lightning, down swipe is blood. My chakrams are on my hip, And then my bullets for the libertarian skill is on my shoulder. And that's not all, because once I have summoned something, there's multiple ways that I can use it. I can hurl it at the enemy. I can use its triggered ability, although I haven't got really the mana in this build for that. And I've also then got the ability to combine. And then that is an ability in itself, and then you can fire that off, which is how we create the evil hosts. This is like the tickling, the start of the magic, because of course then what you can also do is combined magic, so that you get different effects. You can also, if I bring lightning into the fore, infuse it into myself, and then cast a different orb, and then thrust that forward, I get a different spell again. And this, as I've joked about previously, Hellsweeper is perpetually that game of, but wait, there's more. There's always more things to do, and it's criminal the amount of content that is in this game. As I've gone on record with saying plenty of times in the past, the amount that is in this game is more than several games combined on the Metastore that I can think of, and it really is fantastic when we're not going to be actually sweeping hell today. Oh, fuck off. No. Not bubbles. Okay, bubbles, but we'll take lightning. I hate bubbles. Yeah, so you can see that my mana cost with my lightning is huge at the moment. If I really start pushing into 5-finger discount, we can actually start bringing it down. But also bear in mind, these ones here, putting cool stuff on your spells at the very beginning, or your guns, or your swords, or hand-to-hand combat weapons, putting the cool stuff on them right from the beginning is great, but can have a performance on your conjuring because you've made them too powerful for your weak starting character. This is a roguelike, remember. So those are things and stuff that you need to take into consideration. Right, one more. Oh no, it's 2 more levels, isn't it? 2 more levels, then we can get a shop. I'll whiz through these. Oh, well, no, I won't. This one's a survival. No whizzing here. Do some wall running instead. Into jump. Into barrel roll. Into wall run. Into jump. Into forward flip. The one ability that I miss is you used to be able to do that and with just the one command and like backflip off walls in Sairento. You still can do that in Hellsweeper, but it's quite laborious to do. You have to jump at the wall, hit it, jump backwards, and then put your hands up in the air to kind of spring away from the wall in a backflip. But for those of you who want to do it, it is doable. Right, let's get some killing done. Again, I always build. I love blood magic. I love it so much. It does all my work for me. It's very cool to do. You can put out massive amounts of destruction on the enemy with some very cool. And all I'm doing is doing this motion to summon the blood ghosts, which are the little ones, and then summoning 2 and squidging them, smush, point, fire. Now we're on to the next one. So the other thing that the higher levels of difficulty do in this game, as well as affecting your flip time and mana costs and the amount of damage that enemies do, little cast upside down. That evil host is going to be particularly special because he was brought into this world Australian style. So casting... Ooh. Thought I had something in them. Smoosh indeed. So yeah, casting is a simple but pleasurable process, and like when I first started the game, I was doing something similar with what the Blood Hosts do, but it was a little bit more difficult in that you use fire, which is the first element, and again, firing those fireballs, and then when they get to a certain amount of distance they explode, creating a huge explosion, and as they are traveling they are shooting at enemies around them. Blood Hosts home in, the fireballs do that, and again, like the revolver, the fireball is the first kind of magic that you get, and as I said previously as well, hats off to the developer that, like, blood magic is very, very powerful, but if you love fire and you want to be a fire mage, you can make a very viable fire mage build. If you want to be an ice mage, although ice is probably the weaker of the magics and is a bit underpowered, it's a very defensive magic. You won't die whilst you're using the ultimate of ice because it produces shields for you. It's also the only magic that can repair weapons, as your weapons take damage from whatever that is happening. I mean, you can just drop them and reconjure, but as we've talked about with the mana issue, sometimes you can't, and by infusing a weapon with ice, you're then able to repair it to full health, even from broken, and ice is the only magic that can do that. Yeah, we were there way too long. We do not need 4.3 million. What are you saying? Ooh. Oh yeah, of course, we're going to Thingy. We're going to Thingy Land next. None of these are actually going to do anything for us. Let's increase the damage of exploding bodies by 50%. That's always a good idea. And then we always want to avoid this, although again, it doesn't do anything for Unholy. A lot of the time, even if I don't like the choices, I'll go for I'll go for 5-finger discount, because not only does it reduce mana, it also doesn't cost additional mana for the various skills. Everything has a cost in this. If you want to become more powerful, you run the risk of kind of breaking your build, and so part of the joy of this is working out what you can do and what you can get away with within said build. We've got loads. I'll just start using the golds. Oh, lovely. We will take... Spell balls will not be consumed when casting advance. Oh, that's the... Yeah, I don't do that, so that's why that never... About Red Moon. That's the Bloodlands, yes. Gold, experience is gold. Vampirism, that's for blood-infused attacks. We might get one of two of them off. There is a challenge that we can do in this room. Again, why make the challenge harder for yourself? That's never been fixed. Why make the challenge harder for yourself when you can just destroy all the blue totems that might turn into the nasty ones? And I love the corridors. These levels are great. They're nothing special in remarks of design or anything along those lines. I'd like to see more levels like this where it's less arena and more level based. But what I do like about this particular level is you get silly amounts of upgrades, and if you want to be a game where you become overpowered quite quickly, this is it. But then there's ways that you can push and test your build, and is that not what we all want sometimes? I love games where I get to be the underdog. Hellsweeper is one of those games where I really enjoy being the over dog lord something. There is no disadvantage to pistol lasers, but I don't put them on because I don't need them. The other problem that you have as well is I think the pistol lasers can I think they can replace another attachment on your weapon, but Again, I have the revolvers quite basic, as you can see. You can actually have the revolver so it has 3 barrels at the top that rotate as you fire, and then 3 barrels below, and then it fires dual shots with those 3 barrel systems. A true revolver that any Texan would be proud of, isn't that right, KT? Right, let's get... Right, we need to reduce the cost of that. Is it time for pain? Yeah, I've already got that. And you and me, this one is great. Levitating objects will not cost you mana. 2 discount, 1 seeing ghosts, and then you can forge you and me. Which now means... How many can I... This no longer costs us mana. Which is huge. How many can I get? Only 4 at the moment. And then we can do silly stuff like that. And within my build as well, as I said, you know, I've got blood magic and fire magic and lightning magic and pistol and chakrams and pistol bullets, but I've also got the ability to blast, create a shield, do a downward concussive blast, pull enemies in towards me, and these are all very neat and tidy gestures. Stay there and calm down. They're all very neat and tidy gestures, and it all... So I've spoken about in games previously how some developers embrace the way that games have done things in the past. Hellsweeper has very much, for me, been one of those games where everything, once you start getting it down and remembering where everything is, all feels very intuitive. I know I don't use a lot of the different powers because I don't have to. I've got blood magic. I don't know if you know, but I've got blood magic. So, blood magic, insanely powerful. We don't need that. I'm trying to speed things along here, if we didn't know. I don't need to do this challenge room either, but unfortunately they are trapped in here with us, not the other way around. You should always put perks in them before you start a run. There's no reason not to. What's that? What's the yellow? Have I been buffed? I got buffed. I don't know what from. Yes, you should always fill all the slots underneath every weapon at the very start. Only... Why is that yellow? Oh, there we go. Ooh. Plus 15%, yeah, we'll take that. That just makes things a little bit more efficient on the old summoning front. Yeah, you always fill them, and that also includes your blessings as well. Always make sure that you are going out there with the maximum number of blessings on. And one of those blessings should be Gilded Boots, because it just makes you this level of power if you play that way. There are other ways to play this game. It isn't just about Gilded Boots. However, for me, being a miser with my money and being rewarded for it, well, those of you who know me know that fits my style of play very well. It used to fit the style of progression that the game had as well, but I think they changed it because they may have found that players were not quite getting the experience that they wanted, because they weren't spending any of their money because they were kind of punished to do so. I don't mind. I like not spending money. Paid violence, and we can simply get more. So look at this. The more that we put into paid violence, it is increasing our mana costs, but that's only for the summoning of unholy weapons, for boss weapons, I believe. So this is one that we don't need to worry about the mana cost increasing. We just keep on pumping more and more paid violence. We're now getting a hit 164.8% more loot when dismembering enemies. This is why I have a pretty decent chunk of change right now. 231,507. That'll do. That will do. Can we get this? Punching forward will create a magic projectile. Yes. And where's the... I wonder if that'll count as fist kills. But yeah, our as you can see, our stone hand, its durability, even though it's at maximum, is still quite low for how I want to kill with it. So we need to see if there is a way to power that up. If we increase the damage, though, we won't need as much durability. It's one of the things as well. I've poured hundreds of hours into this game, and I have barely touched the hand-to-hand combat. The reason being is because the hand-to-hand combat didn't instantly gel with me like every fucking else thing in this game does. Does it replace everything? No. Like, this is what I'm talking about as well, Dean, when you are making up your weapon. If you put too many good ones of these in, you end up with a weapon that has such a high mana cost that you can only summon one, then you have to wait for your bar to recharge before you can summon another, and that can be very frustrating. And you can also, using these orange ones, change those midway. Now that's great, but that can also break your build midway. So I have very few of them on to keep the mana cost low, so I can summon straight off the bat. I do not want any of these, so we will go with the one with the least mana cost. Auto reload I don't want. Quick trigger, no. We'll go for that one, because I try and stay away from laser sights because I don't need them. I turn a lot. For those of you who play this, you'll see, but I turn a lot of the UI off because I think it makes this game look better to watch, if I'm honest. And that's what we try and do here. You guys should all play with everything on, so you know what the fuck's going on. I don't. It's like fucking Neo. I don't. Not Neo. Who is it? Cypher. I don't even see the numbers anymore. I just see blonde, brunette, devil-shaped thing. More paid violence. That is what we're here for. Hello, you. I'm beginning to believe. Ooh, this is another reason why I like these levels. Blessings are always great. Cash for power. Every 500 obols increases damage by 1%. This is great because you'll never fall behind the damage curve. But if you've got a powerful character like mine, you don't need this. Super Mimi Max. Increase health, damage, and mana and damage by 10%, but reduce XP gain by 25%. Now, XP is something that I want. So, oh man, we're going to break our build here. I wouldn't usually go for cash for power, but I don't want to impact the amount of leveling up I'm doing, so... Again, blessings you can take off when you're at the shop. We'll be going to the shop next, so I'll show you how. In fact, let's find the shop exit and get out of here, because we've got plenty of other levels to do. These are these red tokens that I'm talking about. That's the heart one that explodes when you get too close to it, and that one fires projectiles at you. And if anyone was wondering why there's yellow ones as well, blue ones give you souls and obols. Yellow ones give you the same plus a key, and that's where we're going. And red ones are obviously enemy ones. Let's just try and get a little bit more in the ways of gold. When you're in these maze type levels, always have a good explore around. As you go through the game, they get bigger. Like, you know, this is leading out into another huge room, which I'm not going to complete. You can get ambushed in these rooms as well, as in basically you'll step in, it'll lock off and an encounter will happen. So be aware of those, but they're usually in the same kind of rooms, randomly though. Let's get out of here and go to a shop. And when you're leaving here, there will always be two portals. One is purple, one is yellow. Purple takes you straight to the boss, yellow takes you to a shop before you go to the boss. So always find the yellow exit. There's no reason not to. You yellow-bellied shopkeeper. We don't need any of these. And look at this pricing. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. What we do want... Ooh, let's change this. So this is how you get rid of the unwanted. So, for instance, I don't want, I think, oh no, you can't, oh yes you can, there you go. Of my blessings, we've got this, Iron Fortress, gain 20 shield, meh. Increase health by 100, that's not bad. Reduce damage by 30%, yes please. So I make myself more tanky and I do less damage. Why is that good? More hits, more style, more cash in progression. Faster progress, so we like Iron Fortress. I don't need that one. Enemies receive 30% more damage when close. Nope. And I don't want this one. Every 500 levels increases power. With the amount of currency that we have, our power will be through the roof. We'll be one-shotting people just by touching them. I don't want that either. I want to stay depowered so that I can level up quickly. Here, we want to be getting rid of this one, and this is again for Doom as well. So if you get to a point within your build, within your run, where it's like, my fucking things just aren't working, I haven't got the mana, when you're in the shop, start getting rid of some choice things. Oh, and you can also change these over. Tethered pair. These aren't, instead of ejecting half blades when releasing trigger, an energy disc is released. We'll have a look at that one later. Bone half blades will explode instead of returning. We'll have a look at that one later as well. I've just got it on the standard one because it doesn't cost any additional mana. So let's get rid of orbital period. Thank you very much. Now when we throw them, they'll go and they'll bounce and bounce and bounce between lots of different enemies before they return, which... Can we get more bounces out of them? Yes, we can. I'll spend, again, I'm miserly with my money, except when it comes to you guys. So let's try and get some more bounces out of these. I thought we already had ignition. Extra holster. That means I can summon an additional max. Let's refresh that. No. Okay, that's getting incredibly expensive to do a refresh, so no more of those. Not tethered pair. We don't want to increase the damage. Increase durability, which means that they'll stay out and do their job for longer. So that's a nice lot of things. And again, for Doom, if we have a look at how my pistols are at the moment, I've got a couple of discounts, but I go for a lot of these that have actually got quite a low mana cost. Any that are here, you won't find any unless I specifically want them over a mana cost of 10. Like, for instance, I don't want Smoking Barrel. That can go. And I don't need... yeah, I don't need that either. And this all reduced mana cost, which means that I can summon a gun without it draining my mana entirely, and you can make your weapons more powerful than your character can use. That's fine to start off with, and then you need to grow your character into those weapon builds. But then you need to get a little bit of an element of luck in that when you're opening chests and finding the different upgrades that you need, that you're picking the right ones, and that you get lucky enough to get the ones that you need as well. What, well, ooh. So if this hasn't got an alternate on it, that means that I haven't faced this boss before, which means it should be the Wheelie Boys. Which, yeah. These guys take an obnoxious amount of damage even on the normal settings, so, good luck, everyone. We just spent a load of money. Doc, ready on the count? But look at this. Even though we spent a load of money, 619 shields, we have more shields than we do health. And we've still got a huge amount of health as well. And the best part about shields is they come back and recharge quicker than health. I believe shields start recharging the moment that you take damage, and there's no cooldown on it. Yeah, very, very, very fast. Hey, Wheelie Boys! I remember you from such things as fucking Dark Souls. Now, I don't know, because I haven't played these guys much, but they're a combination of an enemy in the game. Oh, good! Oh, good! They've got floor is lava. Now, I don't know what their weak point is, or their weak spot is, or even their weakness itself. We do wanted to try doing that to see if that had any effect. It doesn't look like it. So, the one thing that I can tell you, ow, is everything is susceptible to blood magic. So no, I haven't either. So maybe I have beaten them. Let's get some of these out, getting some work done. What a mess. What a glorious mess. Blood balls win again. And then if we can increase the number of these that we can have by putting extra holsters on our build, we'll be able to have a silly amount of these going out. And then look how, because I've got the levitation ability, when they do come back and my hands are full and they don't reflect off of an additional one, they do come back to you and they stay in orbit. So, can I... I've got any more in me? I don't think I have. So if we grab 2, when these come back, so cool. Very cool. And then, as I said as well, it's the one suggestion that I would make for the devs is that the fact that you can do that when you're trying to infuse feels a bit weird, especially with the fact that if you hit the blade, it puts the power in the middle. And you'll see that that lightning Chakram is a little faster than his poor normal brethren. And obviously has lightning properties as well. Juggler class, yeah, right. Where's the dumb lady with the rings? Oh, corruption. I like corruption. Corruption's a great boss because blood magic's one of the few magics that absolutely KOs her as well. The blood host do. Oh, though, look. So Gilded Boots is already every 300. Now it's every 265. So, and you can have up to 3 Gilded Boots. I'll tell you now, you only need 1. Again, increased damage by 24% during a somersault. This is great if you are falling behind the damage curve, but I've played this game enough that it doesn't matter. As long as I've putting out hits, I'm happy. So we'll take Gilded Boots. That's a great upgrade. And now, I mean, we did make some cash during that transaction. In fact, it'll have taken, yeah, it's taken a load of cash off of us, and I'll show you why. This is why using this build, you are at your most vulnerable between acts. Because look, it converts a load of your current cash and souls into meta progression souls, which is how you unlock your cosmetics now. So you have to remember, and it does that the moment that you complete the boss. This is just showing us what it's already done. So now we're down to 57,000, which is in essence halved our shields, but now we'll be gaining more shields at a faster rate. Let's carry on, shall we? Time we on. I have some news as well. Let's just check the old battery, check the times as well. So Battle Brothers went on sale, all of its DLC, because the devs haven't got back to me, because, you know, the game is like, what, fucking 10 years old now, 5 years old, something like that. And so I have now purchased all the DLC. We will be able to play Battle Brothers in many, many different ways. We can be Viking Raiders. We can be a trade caravan. I know that doesn't sound very interesting to you lot, but I fucking love a good deal in those kind of games. Being able to break the economy and be rolling around with hundreds of thousands of gold doubloons to do what we want to with. The most interesting one, though, is we will finally, good timing, Vega, for this announcement, we'll finally be able to start a cult. We'll be able to start a cult, chat. Obviously, I'll be in charge, and then you guys can be the devil's advocates, right? Yay, cults. Everybody likes a good cult. I have no idea how they play yet. Not yet. No, not yet. So, Battle Sisters is not part of the base game. Battle Sisters is part of a big overhaul mod. Now, I kind of wanted to play the game a little bit in my own time to see how it's supposed to be played before I start modding the hell out of it. But we will be getting to the point where we'll have our more bottom members of the chat in their full glory and regala. You thought Tits Out Mermaid Company had a lot of tits out? You should see some of the Battle Sisters. Yes, you bloody should. Oh, flip. Flip, damn your eyes. For anyone wondering how again, another thing, the flip system is as simple as jump. When you get to your apex of your jump, raise your hands in the air. That then puts you into a tumble based on what direction you were jumping. So if we were jumping forward, we'll do a front flip. And then you can use your air dash to speed that up. If we jump sideways, we will do a cartwheel. Or sideways somersault, whatever you want to call it. And finally, if we jump backwards, we can do a backflip. And then push off the wall. I do love handspring in this game. It's so good. The fact that you can. Most games would be like, you know, you would end up putting your hand through the wall. Oh, not Hellsweeper. Oh, no. Well, and again, whilst the devs are listening as well, if we can have the bow so that when I do the grapple whilst in slow time, the game stays in slow time, I would be very much appreciated. That's how it used to be. I get the impression that it has changed. Because they've changed other things about the game, it's changed by accident. Because I don't see why it would change. Bloody hell. Look at that. That's half shields from a couple of hits. So, remember everybody, this is Doc's time now. Let's get some of this blood magic working. Let's get the chakrams going as well. What? So they'll pass through. Again, we need to get them a little bit more powerful, but they'll pass through and then they'll start bouncing off of things before they return. Let's get some flaming ones up in here. There we go. Now they are going to be a little bit underwhelming because I haven't got as many out as I would like. We're up against very tough enemies and ice ones, at that matter. But they're still doing a job. You could quite easily, so again, like I've said with other forms of stuff in this game, you could quite easily make a chakram build that would be insanely powerful, and you just use chakrams and you could have a great time. You can do this with pistols, you can do it with all kinds of magic at all levels of the game. As with most games, what's the yellow about? I don't even know what that is. I've got so many effects on me now, I'm beginning to forget what they all do. we'll try and upgrade the old chakrams. And I'm not even using them at full capacity either, because each chakram we can split. If I can do it right. Yeah, there we go. Isn't it glorious? Because they then orbit you afterwards as well, makes them incredibly easy to catch. Obviously, it's at its best when they return to you, and then you catch them in slow motion, and then send them through something else again. That's obviously when it's at its best. You can't always have it at its best. You might not always have the presence of mind to catch them either. A little bit of this, and my blood ghosts do the business, and then finish it off with some blood hosts. The only thing that I do find is that when you are doing the gesturing, if the chakrams are orbiting you, you can sometimes catch them when you mean to gesture. So they do work, and all it means is you grab them and throw them back out again, and they do their job rather nicely. Let's try and get more chakrams, so we can always have more. We also need to do this as well. I put the katana, I took the katana off for now. Again, I don't even feel like I've given anything up though. I only need blood magic, I don't even need pistols. I only need blood magic and bullets and pistols. I mean, I only need blood magic really, but... Right, let's... Is that one the damage one? That one. Need to get the durability of these up. They seem to break quite quickly. Reduce Stone Fist's ability cost by 15%. Good. No mana costs. Oh, there's more there. Silver for you. Good. Might actually be able to get this up. Gorilla God. Increase damage of Stone Fist by 40% and add knockback with every punch. Yes. Oh, what? No, you didn't give up your staff on. That sounds like a dirty lie. Can't ever see you giving up your staff. But hey, there you go. So again, for those of you, because I know there's plenty of you that play Dungeons of Eternity, you now have that weapon that you can throw and get that cool feel that we get from Dungeons of Eternity. And as I said, this can all be done. If we can do it normally, then we can do it upside down. Hello, Dread. How are we doing? Right. Hey, look at that. They're even interfering. They're even interfering with the selection process. Good lads. All steady. Let's not have that. There you go. Mana Thief. That we like. Again, doesn't matter for Unholy. I'm just grabbing that because we can. I think there was one over here. We don't need that because I don't want to run the risk of making it more powerful. So you'll see at this stage as well, I don't take every single upgrade that comes along. It's as much to do with the fact of keeping things moving as much as anything else. Increased duration of magic infusion. This one is great if you do magic infusions. And then, like as I was saying about when you can play this game and build it how you want to. So if you want to be a lightning mage, well, you can be, but it doesn't have to stop there, because of course you don't have to just be doing the lightning and doing the dual lightning and doing the flippy upside down, didn't have the mana to do it, the flippy upside down Emperor Palpatine style lightning. But you can also then use that lightning and still call yourself a lightning mage by infusing your weapons with the lightning. And why would you not want to? I like the speed of the lightning one. It's a shame that a lot of the weapons have the ability to do things like, I can't remember what it's called now, ignite. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Do it. Or maybe it's because one's infused. It's because one's infused already. So that ignite then makes a Chakram the equivalent of imbuing it with fire. It's a shame that not more weapons have the ability to do a action that then imbue it. Like maybe make it so that infusion can imbue, and you know, with ice, lightning, blood, or what have you. And then maybe even I would make use of infusions even more so. But it's, as I've said with this game as well, there's so much going on. You only need so much, but that choice is never wasted. Never wasted on you, because you'll always be able to do things in this game the way that you want to do them. And you know, is that not why we play computer games? Is that not why we play? I mean, it's why I play VR as well. Doing things with real life gestures, but doing them in the way that I want to do them. So, and then, you know, and I've only gone as far as to talk about the actual weapon systems, i.e. the guns and the magic and the melee and the hybrid ranged melee weapons that we now have. And then on top of that, you've got the class system as well to then push even further into what you want to do. And it just goes on, and we'll have a shop. Just goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's even quite a lot of secret little things and various combinations that work differently and work specific ways. I don't know, what do you reckon, chat? Why do you guys think that Hellsweeper isn't the game that everybody's playing? I don't know why. I still put it down to a shaky start and then people never getting back to it. But there's also that element of potential skill ceiling as well that I've heard mention of before. You know, people look at this and I'd like to think that people look at this and go, oh, that's the game that you can go upside down in. You don't have to, though. Maybe going upside down is intimidating to some. I don't know. I don't know. I look at a game like this and I'm like, you can fucking what now? It does look overwhelming, I'll give it that much. Ooh, we take these. This is what I'm here for. The magic we'll get, but if by taking those jade keys, it's the equivalent of just buying us more gold keys. Lovely. That'll do us. I'm not spending too much cash because I don't want to die. Yeah, I'd say you've got reasons there. I nailed on the head, Kim. Vaughn, rather. I did it again on purpose that time. On purpose. That is actually, ladies, that's the extent of my memory. It was literally said several seconds ago, but I can't exactly remember who said it. I'm usually pretty good. Right. Did say that I was going to be using chakrams, so let's actually try and get some out there. Ow! Get up! Get infused! Go! Yeah, look, see, these are starting to tear now, and that's because of the amount of additional damage that we're doing. I still, and the thing is, I'm not even leaning into chakrams. I still haven't got them anywhere near, ow, the level of power. Stop it. Let's get this one over. nice and quickly. Yeah. I remember when it first came out, the PSVR 2 crowd weren't particularly happy either, because it looked poor. It's the one thing that I will say though, as far as dedication is concerned, the devs don't care. They must be doing well enough to keep the lights on though, because they're constantly bringing new updates and new things out as well. Oh, we've got another one to do. Oh well, blood ghosting. Off we go, my pretties. Kill. Ow. I'm just doing this. I get a lot of pleasure out of that motion. I don't know why. I've got these on the hips at the moment. It might be better for me to be able to conjure them like I can my pistol. Just reaching down to the waist in this game feels so old school. Like, you know, I'm used to being able to pull things out of the fucking air with my insane magical skills. Now I've got to reach down to my wrist to grab them. Ah! Awesome stuff. They're getting powerful. They're starting to do the job. But yeah, if you throw them out as they come back to you, you just have to put a weapon in their way and they'll go out and do their job again. We need to get more rebounds on them. Many more rebounds. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 11 million. I wasn't even fucking trying. That probably a lot of that as well is the Chakrams, because they'll be doing multiple hits every time they pass through. So silly amounts of style going on there, and style is very good for us because all adds up to more currency, which is helping our shield situation, more meta progression, which is just advancing as quickly. And look at this, another vault. Oh my, or infinite corridor. I can't remember what they call them these days. Infinite corridor, I think now, isn't it? But yeah, as I said, there is some, going back to what I was talking about with Band of Brothers, there is Band of Brothers, Battle Brothers. There are some very interesting starts that we can do, and hey, look, you know I like a good themed run on Void War, and if we can really lead into the theme, then yeah, it'll make all of your lot's untimely and grisly deaths even more worthwhile. Because is that not what you want to be able to do? Die, like Chris will never forget the time that he got beheaded in one of my streams by a fucking lowly mercenary thug as well, of all things. Or no, bandit thug, wasn't it? Excuse me. I don't quite know why I've got this yellow up. I wonder what I'm doing. So I can hold, now that I've increased my mana, I can hold my shield up. Ah, and you can move it as long as it hasn't expired on the cast. Let's test that. Ah, so it does. So you get a proper shield. And then when you let go of trigger, it stays where you let it go. There are, the other thing to note as well, there are new abilities on some of the lesser used weapons. Like, for instance, I think they've added quite a few new abilities to make rifles. Well, the thing is, as I said, Doc, there was every possibility, even though he got decapitated, that in that end screen he might have recovered, and he just couldn't even do that right. Couldn't even put his head back on right, fucking hell. Yeah. I've already picked out one of the things I'm hoping to find, and then I don't know if you've got any artsy-fartsy ones amongst you. I'd say that with, I shouldn't say artsy-fartsy, I should say that with some modicum of respect. If I can find out how to hack banners into the game, then maybe I could get you lot to make me a banner, and then we can parade that round in the game. Wouldn't that be great? I'm sure it would. I'm sure it'd just end up like Tits Out Turtle Company or Tits Out Crab Company or something almost. And I mean, when I say artist, I mean in the crappiest sense of the word. I mean, you know, I'll happily take, as long as you guys will happily rally behind a rag on a stick. As far as I'm concerned, that rag can have a fucking stick man slapping another stick man for all I care. But I'll have to have a look into that and see if that's something that we can do, because it could be quite funny. We are trying to increase the damage of the fists. We need to actually use them. Don't need those. So the other thing, oh, that was terrible. The other thing, so maybe it was the blood magic and the chakrams together that were doing the job, because the chakrams are good, but they're still a little on the weak side at the moment. We need to upgrade more. Always need to upgrade more. This way? Is there another way? I've always loved the maneuverability in this game as well. I always feel like I can traverse the level how I want to. I can always traverse the level how I want to and go in the direction that I want to. And then, as we know, like, Dread takes that one step further, and he can actually look where he wants to go when he's in the air and zoom that way. I've always found that unnecessary. But again, that's more of a... I wish that feature was in Sairento. The old air dash. It's definitely something for me that was missing. That one blood host will probably do the job, but let's get some chakrams out there as well. A bit of lightning. And a lightning chakram. Having these chakrams with dipping sauce, the blessing, would be absolutely great. Oh, I was just about to start punching shit. What do we do? Supposed to be able to fire projectiles from these. I know I can launch them. I swear it said we can do projectiles from these now. But yeah, that was one of the things I was going to say, Kim. Oh yeah, we need to be using those. The stone fists have their own class now. And we also, to unlock that class, we need to do 150 kills with the stone fists. So let's keep pushing the power level. I mean, you know, big. I always think as a kid that you used to be able to buy the big Hulk hands, not the thing hands. I know it is more thing than Hulk, but I always think about the Hulk hands that you can buy in, like, various shops as a kid or adult, and put them on your hands and they make noises as you punch people. Punch things. You don't punch people. Not with Hulk fists. Why would you do that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, so that's one of the things that has changed. They're my favourite. They're so good. You look like, or it makes me feel like Azura from Azura's Wrath. These will be the ones that we use for getting kills. Yeah, not very good against those. We're getting our ass kicked. Okay, they should be great against enemies. Just not great against... Not great against, the Standing still statues. Yeah, definitely my favourite infusion on the fists. I don't know, man. Blood magic feels like it has way too much love in this game. It really does. It's just good at everything. Absolutely everything. So look, see, I've gone... There are other ones that we could take, but I've gone... Ooh, no, they don't need that. We've gone for 5-finger discount 3 times there, which then should allow us to really reduce the cost of blood magic. Not that we need to, because we can cast fast enough that it doesn't matter. I don't want any of these, and I don't want this, because it changes the property of how my spell balls work. I don't want them to bounce, I want them to explode. Don't want to increase the damage, so we'll go with that one. And... Tomb of the Fireflies is very good. I mean, we're not even using fire magic, so not much anyway. Cool. Right, let's get out of here and shop. Shop. It's the one thing that I think is missing from this game. I think they need more levels like this. In Sairento, there was levels where you, like, went down a street into an arena and then went down multiple other streets into arenas. Thank you, Vaughn. I have indeed. Chakrams increase ricochet. Yes. And Angel Halo. Increase the Chakrams airtime by 25% and the number of ricochets by 2. Sign me up, Angel Halo! Excellent. So that's quite a cool legendary. So now we'll get more flight time. And more bounces before she comes back to us. Brilliant. We need lots more of those. Wineglass Sairento, indeed. I did chat with having a chat with the dev about Sairento. There's a game that could really do with a Quest 3 upgrade, because it's still very good. And as I understand it as well, Sairento was a very popular game. It did very well on the old PlayStation VR, and I think it did alright on the Quest. More rocks. No, 5-finger discount. And seeing ghosts. Let's get that finished off so we can levitate more objects. Can we levitate different objects? 1, 2, should be able to. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. There we go. Right. I mean, that's definitely a kind of mage, isn't it? Right? Gun floating discus. So many things. So many things you can do in this game. It is unreal. Absolutely unreal. Like losing which way, going back the way you've came, losing your direction. But yeah, I'd love to see more like actual levels like this, as opposed to just... The thing is, although this is in essence just an arena shooter, the amount of stuff that's going on in it is ridiculous. Right? Hellsweeper Olympics. But yeah, just silly the amount of stuff that you can do in this game. And the thing is, though, it's not like Sairento was much different. There was a lot of different weapons and combinations and similar styles of upgrades. It was a different system. No, not yet. It was a similar style of, or not quite the road. Sairento isn't quite the roguelike that this is. And I'm so glad that this one's a roguelike. As I was saying, I don't want to lose... Oh, no, man, I'm not losing. I don't want to lose any of that. I mean, we could pay some souls. I don't really need those. I mean, I better get something great in return. Fuck you, game. Just fuck you. Fine. Time for pain, because I want to experiment with that. Does it go up to a certain level? Yes, it does. More rocks. And 5-finger discount. So normally what happens when you throw rocks is they smash, but as I understand Time for Pain, when you throw rocks and they hit enemies, they bounce now, which then means you can re-grab and throw them again. Shame they don't bounce off of the walls. Let's try and get some of these fist kills that... Oh yeah, I was going to try and infuse it with something, wasn't I? And then... Hup, hup, hup. Running out of mana. Need more mana for a slow time, and I can't see my mana bar now. I hope you're taking damage. God, these things are strong in comparison to the abilities that I have. Nope, that didn't kill him, and that was a pretty strong attack. Need to be stronger. So as I keep on trying to mention, backblood magic. Maybe the occasional chakram. Ooh. Ah. Come on now. Come on now, you can do it. Like that should oh, it did. It actually did. Throwing it in the middle should infuse those. Beautiful. So yeah, they've changed the system slightly now as well with this update. So to unlock certain weapons and the epithets as well, the class system, you need to do certain things. So for instance, to unlock the epithet that is or class that is dedicated to Hulk smash usage and that alone, and make it even more viable than I suppose it already can be, you need to get 150 kills with those fists. We're currently at 0. 150 you'd easily, if you were concentrating on it, easily be able to get done in a run. Probably even half a run, as it happens. I want to shop. Shop, 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 shop. There we go. So, and of course, if you get a infinite corridor or vault, I still can never remember. I think it's a infinite corridor. They used to be called vaults, but infinite corridor works better. Although it's not infinite, so missell. But if you get an infinite corridor, there will always be a yellow portal, and then there will always be either a purple portal, because usually you get a guaranteed one of these before a boss, or if you get one of these mid-run, then a red portal will take you on to the next level. There's no reason not to go to the shop. Find the shop portal every time and go to the shop. You're not missing out on a level's worth of hell sweeping either. Well, yeah, that is a very real danger. Too close to stabby things, you and me both. 408 shields. I think we can sacrifice a little more. Can we get some more mana? Plus, like, that's not worth it buying in the shop. Plus 5% for, like, yeah, fuck off. But we do want Chakram Dreams. The other thing as well, the purchases in the shops are only ever +1. No. And that's not quite as good. Let's get padded rings. More ricochets. So, yep, that's killed a load of our gold. That wasn't great. Yeah, the ones in the shop are always ever +1s, whereas the ones that you find whilst you are out and about can be up to +3s. So 3 choices on the old rogue system, as opposed to 1. So, yeah, still not massively incentivized to spend your cash, I don't think. Yeah, mate, as I said, just get them gilded boots. Look, hang on, I'll show you mine. I might be able to show you mine. Can you? There, see? Get some of those on you, Chris. Hang on, send the slow-mo. Get some of those on you. These gilded boots with the pointy toe. That's what you need. So yeah, that's why, I don't know. Apparently holding the kick button down now charges your shots, but it also does mean that when you're doing your flip, you can tuck your knees in whilst you're doing your flips, just that added bit of flair, and then kick out at the end if you really wanted to. What is that? I don't know what buff that is. I must be doing something. Must be doing something right to be constantly buffed. Maybe it's part of the chakrams. So our chakrams should go out and just do... Because if you can get a lot of ricochets on your chakrams, they're just going to go out there and just cause fucking hell. Yeah. Thigh-high gilded boots with complimentary short shorts. I mean, they are quite weak enemies, so I'd expect them... Oh, just get out there, son. I'd expect them to nail them. But they go through the aerial enemies quite nicely. And if we can get more ricochets on these again, they'll just stay out there and do their job. Ooh, I forget how higher level I've got Spark up to. Again, something that I've always loved in Hellsweeper, even from the get-go, and they've just continued to improve it. Some of these effects are really good. We've all seen games. It's part and parcel of what makes you feel very powerful in this game. Is like, and again, for those watching, shock and disbelief, this is indeed standalone. And it all looks great. Hellsweeper has definitely evolved over time on the graphics department as well. The backgrounds still on some of them. This background is one of the best going. I think this background is, or the arena is absolutely superb. Some of them have a tendency to look quite muddy, and as you can see as well, the level of detail on the enemies is brilliant. They all look fucking horrible, as you'd expect. As you would we are hell sweeping. We are in the lands in twain. And it all looks great. You know, nothing quite kills a game for me like In Death Unchained, if you're playing that game, Drink. In Death Unchained, some of the spells, some of the special arrows look good, but some of them look really underwhelming, and some of them just look a bit shit. And I really wish they'd gone to town on some of the effects, but then there was no reason to, because barely anybody used any of the other arrows other than the meta arrows. So, but then having said that, the meta arrows never looked that great either. Like, you know, Hand of God could have had some amazing special effects. What's the word? Caressing? No. Correct? Oh, there's a word and it begins with cur. Off of it. Oh, I can't fucking think of the word now. I might even be making it up. Choreography. Choreographying off. It's not choreography. But, as I said earlier as well, in essence, this is just an arena shooter. But I suppose to the casual onlooker, it doesn't look like an arena shooter, because arena shooters are usually flat with wave upon wave of enemies and not really much else going on. There is, I think Von's quite right on that statement. This game probably can look a bit overwhelming, but for me, a game that I look at and looks good and I think is overwhelming is good for my wallet, because overwhelming means I'll get lots of fucking time out of it. And again, I know I'm not like most channels in that respect, but for me, tax on the wallet can say a lot about how good a game is. kind of rather goes hand in hand with how good a game is. If you've paid £5 for something that lasts you 20 hours, then happy days. I don't want to spend 30 quid on a 4-hour game. As is always the fucking case. You can fuck off with your floor is lava. You're not having it either. Oh. It's P. Lovely. So yeah, Chakrams are becoming... That's lightning. Chakrams are becoming quite powerful. Chakrams. And of course you can obviously get them launched out onto the stage before you begin. And then once they're out, we can use other weapons to keep them out. So Chakrams work quite nice with the old gunplay. Because all I have to do is keep my guns out in front of me as the Chakrams return. And that'll do enough to send them back out there again. What was that? Get some of these lightning Chakrams out in here. Come on. Because they're really fast. Is it handball? It is handball. Like, they were going through bone like butter. Coping time quite well as well. Oh, these are super enemy shit. I didn't even realise. Okay, better put the old game face on. Because these ones can kill us. No. Come here. Yep. Get out of it. You can tell the super enemies because they've got glowing yellow, sometimes eyes, sometimes kind of like a third eye. And yeah, more damage, they take more damage, they do more damage. They fire more projectiles of the particularly nastiest spells. They do it faster as well. Yeah, not a nice perk. I do, ow. What is it? Oh, I wonder if it's some sort of life drain effect. Hopefully that isn't too off-putting, the yellow. It only seems to happen when I am... Or is it my shields regenerating? Oh, that's new then. Oh no, it's... Yeah, I think it's my shields regenerating that yellow. Yeah, it's hopefully it's not quite, because that's part of the reason why I'm a bit off-put by it, because I know when I turn the slow time on, that's quite intrusive, which is why I use up on the D-stick to do all of my slow time, which I've kind of is part of my muscle memory now for playing this game anyway. Look out for that meteor, fellas. Although, I don't know what it is. Or maybe they've added something to note, because one of the things that Blood Ghosts do is they... One of the things that they also do is they, I believe all blood magic has a vampiric effect to it. So maybe this is just denoting that I'm healing as I'm doing it. Like blood magic isn't powerful enough. But again, so going back to Von saying about this game potentially being overwhelming, it's part of the reason why I turn a lot of the assistant and graphics and well, if you watch this channel regardless of how much I used to play IVU, I can't stand numbers popping out of enemies. Or put it in the game, that's all well and good, but let me fucking turn it off. So many games that don't. But then, there's also the times when there's games where I could really do with those numbers popping up on enemies, or at least fucking dummies, like Grimlord. Trinky will be playing that game. And I could really do with numbers being able to be put on that game, just so I can work out things for myself via the numbers on the screen, as opposed to having to punch Riala multiple times to find out how much damage I'm doing. I've got no problems punching Riala. I mean, how do you think she got that tiny waist if it wasn't through life beating? Oh god. Probably edit that out. Never. Right. Ow. It's fine, Riala doesn't have a husband. Jeez. Let's go paranoia. 5-finger discount. That one. After using concussive blood, times 12. I hope there's a way to reduce the mana cost of that. I suppose reducing the mana cost of it overall, but yeah, that's the one that you want. Popping candy or something, cotton candy, I think it was one. Because being able to raise shields and move them around with you, and then still cast with the other hand as well, is awesome. Absolutely awesome. That then would mean that as long as you keep a shield up most of the time, you wouldn't really need gilded boots as long as you're pointing your shield in the way, in the general direction of the enemy. This is for fire. Nah, that doesn't really do a lot. Cotton candy, that's the one. You'll see as well a lot of the time I use my silver rings on these, and part of the reason is because I don't want to use a gold ring on something that will only a gold key rather on something that will only give me a +2. I'd rather use my gold keys on something that has the potential to give me a +3. One lock chests will never give you a +3. Not that one. More bouncy. Lovely. Like here, if I used silvers, these could be +1s or +2s. If I use golds, they can be +2s and +3s. And I've got nothing else to do with my silvers, so I'd rather give them the chance of being +2s and +3s. There's a +3. There's a +3. Lovely. Not that I need any of these either. That one. And compact mag. I haven't been getting any of those tonight. They're usually what, and you're like, you know, we can have a fucking knife on the end of our pistol that then makes the pistol a viable hand-to-hand combat weapon. I mean, I'm going to be nice and boring though and take 5-finger discount as always. And Kai Blast. Punching forward will... Mate, I can't remember my kids. I can remember the girl that I punch in VR, the small-waisted bint that I punch in VR, but I can't remember my children's birthdays. At the best of times. Terrible fathering. But thankfully, I got great missus. She remembers everything, so works great. How does this work? Punch forward will... Oh, it's not a fist ability. Shit. Shit. Forgot about that one. Wow, that's taxing on the mana. But like, you know, if you want to... It's a bit... it's because they want... No. Like, look at that. That's a completely different attack. Kai blasts from our fists. They don't quite... I'd have to practice with that to make them go where I want them to. Okay. But, like, this is what I'm talking about, you know? It's fucking... Like, there's a lot of... I can see why some people don't like roguelike games, because ultimately what you're doing is starting off weak and then building your character up incrementally, and it's usually boring stuff like a little bit of extra fire damage, a little bit more ticks damage, 10% more to your health. Games like this, though, are the ones that I live and breathe for, where as you are powering up, not only does the game change fundamentals, like, you know, you can't punch fucking energy balls out of your fists at the beginning of the game, but if you spec into it, you can, and that's a good thing. And yeah, there's... If changing and putting all of those effects in not only change how you have the play the game, but also make it look different, you have me. You have me. Hook, line, and sinker at that point. It's not like we've got any gold to lose here anyway. Ooh, more. Chakrams. Ooh, Angel Halo. Lovely. So these are really gonna fucking bounce now. But I can only... I said you're really gonna bounce now. To be fair, a lot of the times the upgrades don't come into effect until you go into the next level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do not need 4.3 million. Yeah, that's something that I'd like to see, if you can put two of those together into a Hadoken. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I suppose it can be a new game with every instance. Like, I play it very much the same way because I know what I enjoy. But, you know, if I ever want to go outside my comfort... It's one of the things that I should do on this, and maybe we will do it at some point in the future, but I kind of like the idea of playing it with you lot instead, is doing, like, themed runs. You know, I did a reasonably amusing themed run on Grimlord. We could do a themed run on this. There's actually achievements for doing themed runs on this game as well, and they're achievements that I haven't got. They're like, you know, complete the game just using guns, just using melee, just using magic. I should have the magic one, I've just never concentrated on doing it before. There's also another way to play this as well. There's another way to play this as well, which I think is what K2's getting at. You can play this in a fully random mode, where you start, like, I've selected my powers, and I've got them where I want them on my hands and in my hisps, which I always do because it means that I can definitely show off the things that I want to show off whilst I'm streaming. But the other way that you can play this is that everything's random, so you just get given a group of weapons at the start, and, you know, like a mod lump, and that's what you've got, but then you can find more as you progress. Can be a very challenging and very fun mode because you end up having to lean into things that you would never use. Again, I like modes like that, but when there's both options available, and especially when I'm streaming it with the intention of trying to show off the new stuff, like, yeah, when it first came out, maybe that was part of the problem as well. Everybody wanted to play their thing, but they couldn't play their thing because they there was a chance element. Still don't know what this is. I'm trying to think. It's only happening when I'm casting blood magic. I'm going to have to have a look at my blood magic now and see what that effect could be. Because I've turned all HUD effects. No, that wasn't helping, no. Well, I suppose that wasn't helping the co-op, was it? Because it was like, okay, well, I want... Because the thing is, if you want to play with people, that should be all the incentive you need. Getting XP for playing, granted, would have been nice. But yeah, it was like... You know, you got less than 1/10 of the XP that you would get for completing a level for finishing an entire run. They also made the strange decision as well of having the multiplayer where you could only play one chapter in the beginning. I still don't know why they did that. Maybe there were system limitations. What is this? I have to have a look. I think they've added... Yeah. See, I never got it for cooperative. I didn't know cooperative. As I said, when I played... I know, because I think I can... I know we've had this discussion before. When I played this when it was in... like really early access. I got very early access to this because I loved Sairento and wanted to play this a lot before it came out. And it is indeed. Ooh. And I don't remember there being any kind of multiplayer options in the sort of like press release, which I've then obviously confused with its release, because a lot of the time in my experience the press release version that is played is usually the one that's actually released. Or at least in my experience, like that was the same with as recent as like Alien Rogue Incursion, the same one. Was that it? Oh, no. The same one that actually got released was the exact same version as I'd been playing for a week up until that point. At that point as well, Rogue Incursions had another update. That game, from what I can gather, it just keeps on looking better and better and better, and performing and working better and better, which is always nice to see. I did try, whilst Alien Rogue Incursion was on at half price. I think it ended a couple of days ago, because I have a lot of credit and I do like buying game keys so that I can give them away, because God, if I know what to do with the credit. But I do it in such a way that I can get keys out of, convert my credit into keys, which is then fuels some of the giveaways that we do on the channel. And I tried, God knows I tried, to get 6 keys for Alien Rogue Incursion, because I wanted to do a giveaway for that. And I was actually going to approach the dev and say, like, hey, look, I've bought 6 keys with my own money. Do you want to match that? And, like, do a massive Alien Rogue Incursion giveaway. But, yeah, that took my credit, didn't deliver the keys. So that's now fucking time that I've got to invest in trying to sort that out, and it's happened in the past quite a lot. That was a huge mana boost. It's happened quite a lot in the past, and they never get me the keys if it fails. If it fails originally, they never get me the keys in the end, so that will most likely be a bust. But the other funny thing is as well, not only will they take my money, but you know how when you gift after 30 days you're automatically supposed to get the credit back as well? Nope, that doesn't happen on my account either for some reason. I think I've pissed somebody off at Meta potentially. Yeah, Sweet Surrender's Sweet Surrender, was it what did you say? SF? Yeah, Sweet Surrender. Yeah, we should have a look at Sweet Surrender at some point. That one's had a few updates. Well, yeah, we had a look at it. We had a look at it not so long ago. And again, that's another one that devs are still cracking on with things, and the game just keeps on looking better and better and better. So... yeah, rubbed someone up the wrong way. Hey, look, I know just as well as anybody, you can't be liked by everybody. Don't even fucking try. But yeah, I think it's because the system that I'm using to change credit into keys could then be abused to sell those keys. Now, I wouldn't do that, obviously, because, you know, that's against terms of service, and you can lose your Facebook account, and you could have lost your Facebook account back in the day when I was doing it, and you could now lose your Meta account doing it, so it's not worth fucking doing. So yeah, I'll have to contact Meta later and see if there's anything that they can do. I have previously gone on record as well of saying that Meta's customer services, every time that I've tried to use them, they've been great, but my most recent experience of Meta was not great. I'd spent somewhere in... I was trying to get a load of credit for various game referrals that I've done over the years. I've still got quite a backlog, which means that I will always have the maximum amount of credit, which is like £460 each and every year to, well, get a few choice games of my own, but mainly spend on you lovely lot. And I had to fight tooth and claw for about 3 months to get 300 of that credit that I tried to redeem and just hadn't shown up in my account. And the problem, I fucking hope not, Chris, and I was chatting, I wasn't even paying attention. It's gonna be fun if I did. Oh man, I don't want to even step out into that now. Maybe if I raise my legs and use my other hand to move the joystick, maybe Floor is Lava doesn't, yeah, because we're not on the floor anymore, are we? No, that works out fine if you ask me, Chris, and I'd allow it. I'd allow it, wouldn't you? So, yeah, I did all of that with Meta. After like 3 months, I eventually got them to credit, and they gave me a little bit of extra credit as well. But it was such a palaver, and do you know what the worst part about it is? Funnily enough, I'm somebody who likes to talk. This we know. I like to talk to another person. I know that's kind of a dying trend these days. There is not a way that you can actually speak to somebody as a consumer to Meta, which, as big as they are, is fucking ridiculous. And as we know, Meta use AI, chat, and stuff up the wazoo. Well, yeah, my wrist won't tell me what the modifiers are. We'll just have to... Oh, for fuck's sake! The floor is lava, keep moving! The thing is, I still have nightmares from when, I think Bon will remember how the floor is lava used to be when it was first in the game, and it was an absolute fucking nightmare, in that, like, one would bounce you into another and then you were dead. It was fucking horrible. And again, you know, I'd usually do my, oh yeah, I just died laugh, but, you know, it was like that laugh on the front of my face with that rage internally, because it just felt so unfair. Really did. I'm going to use blood badges. Ow! Get this one over quickly, because fuck the floor is lava. Come on. Oh yeah, we were going to try and find out what that power, what keeps yellowing my screen. Ow, ow, ow. See this, I like this as well. I think more games should do it, where it actually visually impairs you when you take certain damage and certain attacks. Why this isn't done in VR, I know it's not a great visual experience for you lot, looking like I'm fighting through, well, what is it, pea soup regularly. But again, I don't know, it seems to be another one of those missed tricks in VR that not very many devs do. The most recent one with Metro Awakening, where, you know, your mask dirties up and you have to wipe it clean. Brilliant! Oh, also, quick whistle for the ladies. There you go! I wish it did the wolf whistle. Just in case nobody knew what a wolf was. Sure, they are an international... Ow! An international thing the world over. Where's all the enemies gone? Oh, fuck you! This is the roof! This is not the floor! Look at this bollocks! I hate floor is lava so much. It also, like, sets up where you're going to land. Look at this bollock! Oh, I'll land here. Fuck it off. Right, can you lot die? Oh man, don't tell me these things, Dread. Please don't. Ooh, on the note of exfil as well, I have got my first Aladdin's lamp. I have got my first golden elephant. I'd say of the white, but I didn't find either of those in the last ones. They both had their prices reduced. I have found a... because I think they're both 1.2 million now. I have also found a legendary hard drive that was worth a lot, but I'm keeping hold of that just in case I need it for something. And myself, young Ken Ross, and K2 the Killer, whilst I was indoctrinating them in the ways of resort, we managed to snatch ourselves a little crate. 4 awesome players. Everybody had a great time, except Kim. She got absolutely riddled with holes. No, I'm sorry. Look, I fully justified the reason why I was taking everything, and it was a little bit more than because I'll shoot you dead if you don't let me have it. It's, yeah, no, I found the perfume. I found a couple of perfume bottles now. They're quite a nice item. Shame they don't fit in your little safety deposit. But yeah, my justification was, if you let me have the things that have a lot of money associated with them, if I ever get round to selling them, I'll have lots of money, and then I can buy you all the nice things, because I will definitely have higher trader levels than you guys will. I've got no problems with keep pitting the squad out. Now, hopefully, if I could just stream the bastard. We did, didn't we? It was glorious. Absolutely glorious. Really stalled on that game this time round as well. Getting some of the components for my generator level 2 has been a fucking nightmare. So, but I'm closing in on it now because I found some places you can get those stupid little transistor blocks reasonably regularly. Hopefully, generator level 3, the top one, doesn't require any of that, because generator is tied to all of your other upgrades as well. So you have to have a higher generator level to be able to upgrade everything to top level. And also, as you all well know, I'm such a tight ass with my money in that game that I refuse to turn the lights on until I've got the generator at peak efficiency. Did you fucking die? Oh, 5 left, good. I gotta find out what this is. I think it's a new effect that they've added for life leeching potentially. Ow, peas! God, it gets real bad if I stand still long enough, doesn't it? Do you know what else used to be really fucking annoying with Floor is Lava as well? It would carry on after you finished the level. So you can imagine fucking trying to do your upgrades was fun. Like trying to do this, but constantly having to fucking stay off the ground. Stupid. absolutely stupid it was. Give me that one. Lovely. I think there was one more. Lovely. This is where we use that precious jade key, because that counts as 3 golds. Lovely. Don't really need any of these things. But if I can make it cost less, launch enemies into the air because it doesn't cost any mana. 5-finger discount, and let's get that one and 5-finger and 5-finger. And again, like, these are the power-uppings of the combinations of magic. So haze magic is a combo of fire and lightning, and combos are so good. That's how everybody's economy runs, but ours in particular. Yeah. Wimpy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 12 million in style? No. Right, let's not select the floor is fucking lava. Oh, we actually almost finished. Oh, we bloody are as well. Look at this. Look at this. Forbidden knowledge, yes. So, deeper understanding of the evil host allows it to linger 190% longer. So our blood hosts, after casting, stay out twice as long. I think that is. Or is it 3 times? Should be twice. Problem is, you sacrifice your bloody ghosts each time you go for forbidden knowledge. The more red valentines you have, the more of... That doesn't always work on the end screens. The more of those come out per blood ball you drop. And you can have that up to silly numbers as well, so... You kind of... Blood hosts are great even if you're only popping 2 or 3 per drop, because they just... Well, you've seen them, they just swarm and then mass bolt into things. But you either want to really concentrate on blood ghosts or bloody... or evil hosts, and not both. But... Because that's quite easy to do, and then create that, and that does so much style and damage. It's brilliant. And they all home. So, oh, that's what we were going to do. Hang on. Let's, yeah. Head above, yeah. Treading water is the new doing well, don't they say? What is it then that's doing that? I bet it's that. Because I don't usually take vampirism. Blood-infused attacks recover 10% of damage, and I wonder if blood ghosts and evil hosts are doing that, or increased status effects duration. Maybe it's that. Mortified enemies will start bleeding. We're going to have to start removing these and see which one it is. It's one of those. It's life burn, hex payback, which I don't think, or vampirism. But look, my screen isn't going yellow now, so it's a contact effect with enemies, and I wonder what it is. Did the map start out at night and has gone to day? If it hasn't, it fucking feels like it has. That's quite cool. I don't think it's the case, but it'd be quite cool if it did. But yeah, it's, again, as I've said as well, this is in essence an arena shooter, a wave-based arena shooter game. It does such a good job of hiding what it is, though. You know, there's a lot, hell of a lot to like about Hellsweeper. One of the might actually have to put a list together of the games that I would happily buy in their current state at full price. I say happily begrudgingly, because I'm never happy with buying a game at full price. And there's even less incentive to do it these days, because I don't know about you lot, but every time I buy a game, I saw GT talking about it today as well, and he's right. Every time I buy a game, it's like, I want to support the devs, but this isn't going to be playable, or this isn't going to be the full effect for, like, at least the first 3 updates. When did that happen? Fucking stupid. There you go. Should we try and... We've got this actually quite... Still not powerful enough. Punching enemies would pull them in. Let's try standard ones. The blood ones didn't seem to be doing an awful lot. It looked good, but it wasn't doing much. That's a 2er. To be fair, we haven't got an opportunity to kill any enemies anymore. On the end boss next. Might as well just get this over and done with, haven't I? And then we'll go and have a play around with some of the cool stuff. Have a look at some of the other things. Bad static. Change an additional time, that we like. And mana conduit, because it doesn't cost any mana. And 5-finger discount, because then we can do the lightning the longer. Thank you, Vaughn. But yeah, I may have something on VR related on Saturday evening, so there may not be a stream this Saturday, but normal service will resume. After that, we'll take these. Ooh, more meta progression. I think I've got most stuff done now as well on the old meta progression. Yeah, not great. Again, I don't take a lot of these ones because they're abilities that I want. It's because there's no mana cost associated. I kind of wish that there was a skip button with these, but then it doesn't force you into builds and experimenting that way. So yeah, mana conduit doesn't actually help me at all for the way that I play this game. It can help builds. Doesn't help any of mine because I believe it reduces mana cost of that ability, and I never use that because it's just too mana intensive for the builds that I make. And ow. So yeah, I take those ones because it's a choice that then doesn't cost me any additional mana onto my build. Filled with regret. No more jade keys. Oop. Come here. Lovely. Oh. Katanas though. Lovely. Exit please. I'm done now. Have been testing recently as well to see if there is a reason to either light or dampen all of these, and it doesn't look like it, but that doesn't mean there isn't. I haven't extensively tested it yet. Yeah, they're getting pretty powerful now, because these enemies are very strong. And those Chakrams are tearing through them. So it's when so it only comes up when I'm using my blood magic, so it's definitely blood magic related. Look at that. The range on it as well. Hey, who knocked me that way? Whoa. Perfect. There you go. 3 hours in. Chakram in full effect. Yeah, kind of my fault. Didn't prep the stream that I wanted. Or rather was experimenting with things that sounded cool. If they went out, stayed there, then did the bouncing around thing, that would have been quite good. But again, it means that you can use these quite good as a hand-to-hand combat weapon, because you do all the hand-to-hand stuff, and then instead of throwing it and it going all over the show, it only goes out a little way in front of you, so dealing with things when they gang up on you. So I can see why it's in the game, it's just not what I want from Chakrams. So look at this, I feel like the sun. I'm being orbited. Brilliant. More. Ooh, extra bounces. No, more. Good. Yeah, so I've never pushed that whole conjuration thing, but the amount that you... So that's how many we got there. Hey, look, it is like the Olympics. Those ones have had a bit of a malfunction. There we go, sort that out. So as I said, if you lean into these, what a fucking little weapon system. Awesome. Nothing major's going on with them as well. They're not difficult to use, but they're the first like real ranged hybrid weapon in the game, I think. Ranged melee hybrid. Right, again, remember what I said, never take these, but let's get this one done and then we'll go into the back end and have a bit of a piss about before I finish up for the eve. Oh, who's that? That is... Ooh, Savagery. Ugh. So yeah, maybe the wheelie bosses don't have an elemental effect. What this is when you have defeated a boss, you then get the ability to play its elemental variant. Now, normally I would say, well, you don't get any extra rewards for taking on the elemental variant, but the elemental variants are a lot more powerful and take a lot more hits. So that in itself is kind of its reward, because you often struggle to get a decent style score on the boss, even though if you achieve that 90,000, I think it is now, you'll get maximum rewards, and it's quite a lot of rewards. So you always want to be striving for it. Let's try and not get our ass kicked here, people. Oh, good, poo! Shit. Hopefully Chakram's coming, watch. He's looking much better now as well. Look at that fucking armor. Oh dear. Oh god. I'm going to try and force this. So I have gone on record as to say, God, he's got belly cannons now as well. Oh god. I've gone on record before as to say, don't fire things at Savagery that do multiple homing hits, because it's the quickest way to get your ass handed to you, because when you hit Savagery, when he is ready for you, he does a load of teleport strikes and they can one-shot KO you. I think we have got a decent level enough of shields to force this. Love wall running this. Have blood magic, dickheads. Uh-oh. Have we actually done any damage? No. Okay. Get some of these in effect and keep running loops around them. see green pea soup. Quite thick green pea soup as well. We could, maybe not. We're taking a lot of damage here, but the shields are holding, Captain, even if the green pea soup is all over my screen. This floor is lava on this game. Fuck's sake. Ow! Can't get in there. Okay, they've both... Oh, one's dropped. Good. Good, good. But yeah, note how every time one of my evil hosts is hitting him when he's ready, he teleports and does an attack and strikes me. This is when that's when you attack him, when he goes into his fucking down mode. So yeah, don't do this. Only do that if you know you have the power in your build. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a pretty good score for that. Only do that if you know you have the power in your build to survive it, and that you have the shields. Because look, that actually put quite a dent in our shields. It wasn't much of a dent though. I've actually turned off some of the sound effects so I don't get those voice dialogues played to me each time I complete it, but there's quite an interesting story behind the character. I might put something together for that in the future. There we go. It's a nice amount of experience. Still really struggling to level that up now that it's getting to tops, and a lovely amount of echoes. So yeah, I rate the Chakrams pretty nicely. I can see them being a really good weapon when you are first getting into the game. If you're coming from... yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. In fact, that's exactly why I turned voice off on, because then I didn't have to listen to this fucking guy. Get out of it. So yeah, as a starting weapon, I hate him. I really hate him. It's a great voice actor. Hey, look, Kim, I've put the hours in, all right? What can I say? What can I say? But yeah, so I'd rate the Chakram as a great little starting weapon if you can unlock it early on. The problem is the way that the system has worked now, you can't take a weapon system and rely on it to be able to unlock the other things like we used to be able to, because Echoes just manage the leveling up now and the upgrading, not the unlocking. To unlock things, there are conditions. Chakrams, you need to get a style score of 50,000. Now, when you've got powerful magic, or you are very happy to go in the air and flip, or even just go in the air is enough. If you're just happy to go in the air, that will double your style score. But if you're just getting into this, you might struggle with getting a score of 50,000. So why am I going there? I want to go in here. So, well, yeah, easy for us because we've got blood magic, but you don't have blood magic. My advice would be, if you're looking to unlock, because, yeah, the Chakrams would be quite an easy one to unlock if you can dial yourself in on the style system. You either want to be upside down with something as weak as pistols, just nailing, and then getting those headshots for the actual kill. That will get you a decent score. As far as style, the other one is fireballs, because you start off with pistols and fireballs, and you literally want, yeah, but you play a lot of VR, so you'll be fine, mate. But firing a lot of those off, and not at enemies, but near enemies, so that the firefly attacks jump off of the fireballs and hit enemies doing small amounts of damage but huge amounts of combo, and then that'll get you lots and lots and lots of points. So, but, and also, Athom, as well, I'm sure you watch my Hellsweeper videos religiously, so you know all the things. But you also analyse games like I do. You'll want to know how the score system works so that you can abuse it, because, well, that's what we do, isn't it? So, to unlock... Yeah, I still don't know what promotion 1 is. I have no fucking idea. Oh. Fucking hell, get on, Athom. I didn't realise. Oh, yeah, because they did say that they were doing a... They did say that they were doing some sort of... Oh, what's the system called where it resets after you get to Prestige? I think they said something about a Prestige level. Oh, that'll be fucking... Oh, okay, good. So that seems a bit stupid. Why hide that behind level 100? I mean, I must have put 1,000 hours into this game and I'm level 74. And I know what I'm doing. I mean, that's 1,000 hours over 3 iterations of this game. Quest 2, Quest 3, and Pico. But, yeah, I put a lot of time into this game. So I'd have to get another 25 levels just be able to show that off. That seems a bit wrong. They need to bring that down to, like, level something else. But if it's insanely powerful, I think I know some of the things that are hidden within that, because me, Von and Kim did see this one. It just didn't make it into the last update. It was in one of the betas that we played, and it had some powerful abilities, but just stat boost ones, nothing like game changing. Ooh, look at this. I've got an extra one that I can add. Having said that, I could change all of these now for this big brain coyote and get the increased experience gain, or I could make life easier for myself by adding more to Genius Exploit. So those are the two that I have. Gilded Boots for the extra shields for when I've got loads of coin, and Genius Exploit to reduce the movement and bullet time mana costs by 20%. I think I'm big on those. I would normally put Forgotten Gravity in to increase my maximum number of jumps, but my maximum number of jumps, because of the Acrobat class, is already like 6. I don't need more. So, you know what? I'll put... where'd it go? I'll put that one on. 5%'s better than nothing, innit? And I should, when I get that, another level. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 jumps. I will get up to 6 when I get that to top level. Thing is, all-round is a good one to start off with, though, Kim, whilst you're learning the game. Well, look, I've got all-rounder at level 50. That's what I started on. And then what that allows you to do is level up all of the systems to where you need to get them, and then you can easily change to a level 1. You basically use all-rounder to get all of your weapons to where you need them to, then change to Acrobat, and then your weapon's strength will overlay the fact that your class is weak, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, we need 150 enemies with the Stone Fist. So, and I don't use the weaponry in this game at all. I'm all about that gunplay, magic, and occasionally the bow as well. So this will be something I'll have to work specifically to get, and I will, because I like the idea that they're pushing classes into specific weapon types. And there's a lot going on with the Stone Fist as well, because not only can you summon it, you can charge it and fire abilities off of that as well. You can also launch it, and then that's also coupled with the fact that you can infuse each kind of magic to the Hulk Smash Fist, and then it has various effects when you punch as well. So we can also have lightning fists. And again, I don't even use... Oh, that does the little sneak forward and punch, which is actually more use than it looks, because you can increase that distance as well, I think, and then that allows you to get your range right for when you're punching. And then, of course, we saw this one. But this is testament to how good the systems are in Hellsweeper. I don't even fucking use any of this, yet I know how to do it all quite naturally, because it all feels right. There's times in VR where developers nail the systems and the buttons and how it all works, and Hellsweeper, I am happy to say, is one of them. And on that bombshell, we shall indeed end it there. This has been Hellsweeper, running natively on the Quest 3. I have been Upside Down Silver Tongue Devil. Good night.